This video tutorial I will explain using AWS CLI how to interact with SQS queues. Using AWS CLI to interact with SQS queues, first we have to create a user and group with full access to Amazon SQS. We will see how to do that. Step 1 is create an IAM group. First we have to sign into AWS console and then open IAM console. Then we have to create the group and the group name we can give us SQS full access group. Then we have to search the policy called Amazon SQS full access and attach the policy to the created group. Step 2 is we have to create an IAM user. For that, first we have to create the user. The username we can give it as SQS user. And this particular user we have to provide programmatic access so that we can interact with SQS queue using CLI or SDK and other development tools. Next we have to set the permissions. For that we have to add this SQS user to already created group, which is SQS full access group. Then we can create this user and also we have to note it down access key ID and secret access key. These credentials are essential for programmatic access like CLI or SDK. Click on users, then click on create user. Here provide username, then click on next. Then add the user to the group which was created earlier. Select the group, click on next and review the details and create the user. Click on create user and here you can see the user is successfully created. Click on that user. Click on security credentials. Click on create access key. Select command line interface. Click on next. Click on create access key. Here you can see access key and secret access key has been created. Click on download CSV file and it contains access key and secret access key. Click on Done. Step 3 is we have to configure AWS CLI for the newly created user. First we have to install AWS CLI if it is not already installed. I have already installed in my system. If you want to learn how to install AWS CLI in your system, then check the link in the video description. Next we have to configure AWS CLI using the command AWS configure. When you enter this command, it will ask access key ID, secret access key, and default region name and default output format. Open command prompt. Enter the command AWS configure. It is asking access key ID. Next, it is asking secret access key. Then default region name. Then output format. And it is successfully configured. To check that, execute this command. And here you can see. Now we will see how to create a standard SQS queue. For that, you have to run this command AWS SQS create queue, queue name, and queue name I am giving as my standard queue. And when you run this command, it will create a standard SQS queue. The name of the SQS queue is my standard queue, and you will get URL for the newly created queue. Enter this command, and here you can see my standard queue is created, and URL of the standard queue is this one. We will check it in the SQS queue console. Search for SQS, click on this, and here you can see my standard queue is created. Type is standard. Click on this to see the details. Here you can see the URL. Now we will see how to create a FIFO queue. FIFO queues have stricter ordering and exactly once processing. To create a FIFO queue, we have to use this command AWS SQS create queue, and queue name I am giving as my FIFO queue dot FIFO, then attributes, then FIFO queue equal to true. Run this command to create FIFO queue, and here you can see the FIFO queue is successfully created, and URL of FIFO queue is this one. Click on queues, refresh, and here you can see the name of the queue is my FIFO queue dot FIFO. Type is FIFO. Click on this to see the details of FIFO queue. Here you can see the URL of FIFO queue. To list all your SQS queues, you have to use this command AWS SQS list queues. Run this command Here we got the list of queues. To send messages to the queue, you have to use this command AWS SQS send message. Then you have to specify the queue URL. Then you have to specify the message body. This is the command to send messages to the SQS queue. This URL I have to get. Copy this command. And here you can see the output. The message is successfully sent to the my standard queue. Click on refresh, and here you can see messages available is 1. To receive message from the queue, you have to use this command AWS SQS receive message. Then you have to specify the queue URL. Execute this command to receive the message, and here you can see we received the message from the queue. This is the message ID, recipient handle, and body of the message contain hello, this is the test message. Now we will see delete messages from the queue. After processing a message, you should delete message from the queue. For that, we have to use this command AWS SQS delete message, then the queue URL, then the receipt handle. The receipt handle you can get it from receive message command. This is the command to delete the message from the queue. The receipt handle I have to get, and here you can see the receipt handle. Replace this. And the message is successfully deleted. Click on refresh, and here you can see the message was 1, now it becomes 0. So no messages are there. To delete the queue, we have to use this command AWS SQS delete queue, then queue URL. To delete the queue, use this command, and the queue is successfully deleted. Click on refresh, and you can see the standard queue was deleted. Here you can see summary of commands. To create the queue, list the queues, send the message, receive the messages, delete a message, and delete queue. Tips for queue management. First one is use descriptive names. Name your queues descriptively to easily identify their purpose. Second one is access control. Manage access to your queues using IAM policies to ensure security. Third one is monitoring. Use CloudWatch to monitor your SQS queues for metrics like number of messages sent, number of messages received, and number of messages deleted. Security best practices. First one is keep credentials safe. Never share your AWS credentials and store them securely. Second one is least privilege principle. For real world applications, always follow the principle of least privilege. Grant only the permission needed for your users to perform their task. Third one is monitoring and auditing. Regularly review IAM policies and audit IAM roles and permissions to ensure they adhere to your security policies. Now come to the conclusion part. In this video, we have seen how to create the user and group with full access to Amazon SQS, from setting up IAM to interact with queues using AWS CLI. And you have learned how to create and manage SQS queues, send and receive messages, and implement basic security practices. Next up is continue exploring AWS services and integrating SQS into your applications for efficient and scalable message processing. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please click on like button and please subscribe to my channel. You can get Java source code and PowerPoint presentation for each and every video. That you can see it in the description section of the video. Click on show more, and here you can see the description, and here you can see the links to download source code and PowerPoint presentation.